Okay.
Now,
All right. Joy, are you there?
please, can you hear
I
me?
see you, but I can't hear you. I
What?
think we are live.
No.
And just in case we are, hi, welcome to Gardening Plus with Joy and Healy. We are here today to talk about flowers. As you can see, posted up on our screen, we are having some shenanigans. We're having some technical difficulties, as we often do. I'm gonna say it's me. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but we're gonna work through this. I think everyone can see Joy. Let me know in the chat, please, if you can see and hear me, if you can see and hear Joy. Let us know. We're working through some technical difficulties right now.
Let me.
There's the link in the chat if you want to come up and say hi. Tell us about your favorite flowers. Welcome to May. Today is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. For those of you yesterday, May the 4th have been with you. If you do
Right.
May the 4th, if you know, you know. But we're here on Cinco de Mayo to talk about flowers. I'm still looking to see if there's anyone in the chat who can let me know if you can see and hear us. I really would appreciate that. But without delay, I'm gonna start with our introduction.
Wait, let me just.
Welcome
I
to
can hear.
Gardening Plus with Joy and Healy. I am Healy and this is Joy. We're two coast to coast gardeners sharing our beyond the basics experiences, intermediate knowledge, and advanced antics. Always advanced antics and shenanigans. Watch the scrolling messages for important information and feel free to exchange ideas, tips, and tricks with each other in the chat. If you want to address something to us, please type all caps. It's okay, we don't mind. But if you're talking amongst yourself, just lowercase is fine for that. Like, hype, subscribe, and share. And then whether you're here for the replay or for the live stream, enjoy the show. So we
All right.
have that. Our greeting is done. Joy, are you here?
I can
I
hear
mean, I know
myself.
you're here. I
Wait,
just can't.
I can hear myself.
You're definitely here. See,
I can,
yeah. So can you hear yourself
yeah,
on your phone? You
yeah,
can.
yeah.
Um, I don't know what else to do because nothing here is blocked. Everything, says the audio is on. There's nothing, there's no cross outs or red lights or red lines. You are in the studio.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So let me introduce
What
myself.
else? The
I'm
mic
Joy.
volume
Oh,
is
here.
set at average for the audio settings. I know, I'm glad that you can hear you. But what's going on? What's going on here? I almost want to stop the live stream and start over, but I think I'm gonna lose all of the settings and stuff and
And all the
everything
pictures.
that we set up. So
Right.
let's do that. Let's keep going, and then I
Let
don't
me.
participating in the chat. Let me check something else. Let me see. Um no, the mic, it said the mic is good. The mic is good. Okay, just say something like periodically every now and then. I don't know. Maybe it'll pick up.
Okay.
This is and this would be like the one time like I really need you to talk. Okay, yeah, introduce yourself,
Okay.
please.
All right. I'm Joy. I'm in New York State, Zone 6B. Our last frost date is right about now, mid-May, but I err on the side of caution and go towards the end of May because the evenings are still in the 40s, which summer loving plants, they don't really like that, and means the soil is, really not up there yet. So they're gonna suffer from the transplant shock, and then they're gonna suffer some more from the adverse conditions of the weather. I grow in soil on the ground. I grow above ground, raised beds. I grow in containers, whatchamacallit. And I have a flock of chickens, 14 at the moment. 2 of them are roosters. Summers here are mild with the occasional heat waves, which gives me a rough of 150 days of growing season. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. May is the time to get started for sure. Back to you, Healy.
Okay. I got my cue. So I'm Healy. I am in Southern California. I'm in zone 10B/11A. And I always say the 2 zones because we used to be 10B in my area. And then I think 2023 is when the USDA changed the zone. So now we're in 11A. And I do agree with kind of like that 5-degree temperature upgrade. The winters are mild here, the summers are warm, and the rain is sparse, but that makes perfect conditions for year-round gardening. Which is what I do. I've been gardening in this area for about 9 years, a small suburban backyard where I constantly find space where there is no space to sow more seeds
For sure.
and plant more plants and have more fruit trees. Everything that I do is above ground, whether it's raised beds, vertical garden planters. I have grow bags, 5-gallon buckets, 15-gallon planters, 10-gallon planters, anything above ground. I only have 3 fruit trees that are in ground, but everything else is above ground in my backyard shenanigans garden.
Yeah.
Joy, you laughing at me. I can't hear it, but I know you laughing. So we can continue on with the chat. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about flowers in a garden. And if you're in the chat, let us know what your favorite flowers are. If you have any tips or tricks to help us grow flowers, please go ahead and let us know that. I think Joy has probably 100% more flowers in her garden space than I do. But since I've been rambling just this little bit, Joy, let us know what you've been doing since the last live stream.
Okay. Well, since the last live stream, I have been transplanting, up potting like crazy. I have hundreds, I haven't counted, but I'm sure it's hundreds of plants, mostly your tomatoes, peppers, eggplants. You got your herbs, and this is all for a plant sale I'm going to have this coming Saturday locally here. I hope to God it doesn't rain because that would really, really be terrible. They are itching to get out of their containers. They have grown. I think I'm learning more and more when to plant them, to start them so that they're not super big by this point. But yeah, I need those plants out of here. And then I have been planting out a few things like your cool season stuff. I've got my spinach. Some I started indoors because I tend to lose quite a bit if I just seed directly to just things that like to, I don't know, find them or they just fail because the weather isn't suitable for them. So I do start like beets and spinach indoors, lettuce, what else? Radish, I direct seeded. So, and then I've been better. I made sure to give everybody a fertilizer, like a 2-2-2 that's balanced. This is something I've never done before because I've always been stubborn about fertilizing. It's like, it's in the ground, it's going to be fine. But I'm finding more and more that maybe my ground is not healthy yet, so that the plants could use that boost if I want that nice harvest. And I've sowed some new seeds, but I'll get to that later on in the show. Back to you, Healy.
And I've sowed some new seeds, but I'll get to that later on in the show. Thank you. And what I did was I opened up the live stream on my cell phone so I can hear you. It's a little delayed.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't hear too much of this background. I have it on low, but at least I can hear you. So we'll go forward with that. So I've been gone the past couple live streams, and I am so thankful that Joy has carried on. our Gardening Plus podcast because I have been just away from the computer and stuff, but very, very active in my garden. So the entire month of April, I was in the garden almost every day, just doing a lot of the behind the scenes work, the stuff that they don't show you on Home and Gardens. But I'm preparing for a very late 2026 season. I have lots of videos and YouTube shorts and community posts and all that. So make sure that you check that out. Last week, y'all, just last week, I finally got to the point of sowing seeds. So I have the Green Start Seed Starter Kit, and I have 144 cells. I sowed seeds in all of them already. I just checked yesterday, and radishes, no surprise. And I think one other like herb is kind of coming up. Um, I also sowed seeds just yesterday in my green stalk vertical planters. So I have three tier vertical planters, and I just sowed those seeds like just yesterday. So of course nothing is up. And then I also sold, I'm calling it Kurt's baby doll. So Kurt, he's at Soil Brother. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel and stuff. He's in his second year of gardening, and he's in northern Texas. So make sure you check him out and show him some support. But he had watched one of my previous videos, and he was like, "Hey, did you ever sow those watermelon seeds? Like, what happened?" I was like, "Yeah, I just did. Just now I sold them." So I went ahead, I sold them, and it's just in a squat pot. I'm calling it Kurt's baby doll. Nothing yet. I just checked like literally this morning. Nothing germinated yet, but we actually got some rain. So I'm surprised on that. So hopefully, germination pretty soon. I did get a replacement for my royally cherry tree. It's in a container. It did not wake up this spring. I called my local nursery, the garden center. They have a lifetime warranty on their trees, like literally lifetime. I've previously had replaced something that I had got like 3 years ago, and they replaced it, no problems, like right off the bat. So I have a replacement for that. I'm real happy about it. Is right next to the Royal Crimson. So the Royal Lee was a replacement. That's in a container. The Royal Crimson, I got that last year. That's in a container. And then I have my mini Royal, which is here in the ground. There are two cherries on that tree. And I'm looking because they're not quite ready, but it's going to be a race to the finish because I know as soon as they turn like whatever the perfect color is, the birds are going to get them. So I'm going to have to be there to like snatch it 1 second before, the birds. The grape plants, y'all know if you watch my channel, I have been talking, I don't know how many months about making some type of trellis or whatever for the two grape plants I have, also in pots. Finally got that done, y'all. It is hodgepodge, but I used stuff that I already have in my garden. So y'all know me, waste not, want not, reuse, recycle, repurpose, I reread. And so I finally have the grapes up potted and in their spot. And just yesterday, y'all, while I was out in the garden slaving away, the FedEx truck came and brought my VEGO wall trellis for my 8x2 garden. Hey, it's up. And let me see. I think I have. Let me see if I can show. Um, I had the picture. I thought I did. Okay, well, of course, y'all. Of course. I don't have that picture, but this is what the backyard shenanigans garden is looking like. This is the main growing space. This is what it's looking like. I thought I had a picture of the VEGO trellis, but I have the VEGO trellis. It's up. I am hoping to save two super beefsteak tomato plants that were already in the bed. I lost my tallest hollyhock, but there's others in the bed as part of an edible flower mix, which goes into our topic today. talking about flowers in a garden. But in the next 2 weeks, I am hoping to transplant some of those seedlings in my raised beds and stuff. And I actually want to sow some flower seeds around the garden. So that also leads into our topic for today. So, Joy, let us know. I don't know if you said this already, maybe I missed it, but what have you been direct sowing and transplanting, harvesting?
All right. All right. Direct sow for me are short turnaround, greens, because yeah, the nights are still cool. So these like that. So my lettuces, radish, beets, um, these you could still direct sow, but these are more for me. These are transplants, but you can still direct sow Swiss chard, spinach, collards, the green onions for the greens, not the bulb, carrots, potatoes, cilantro, berry plants, raspberry plants, stuff like that, and your annual flower seeds. Those you can direct sow right now here in zone 5, 6, 7. Did you want to do your direct sow next?
Yeah, so for my direct, so if I was, and then actually, and y'all, I put this poll up right quick. It says, what season flowers do you prefer to grow? This is new with the poll thing, so I need to move it out the way just right quick, but I am gonna bring it back. So hold on just one moment with that. Um, I actually did this yesterday. So in my green stalk, I did put some beans. So in my area, really right now, you can pretty much direct sow almost anything. But beans like pole beans and lima beans, sweet corn, cucumber, you still have one opportunity for those short, quick turnaround root crops. You can still do that direct. So melons, kohlrabi, leafy greens, that's another thing you still can direct. So you kind of getting to the end of that, but you can do that. Green onions, southern peas, sweet potato slips, pumpkins, summer and winter squash, tomatoes, warm weather flowers, and herbs. All of those things you can direct. So
And now for the starting, for me, for starting in seeds or starter kits or cups, I'm starting beans, corn, peanuts, sunflowers, melons, and squashes. So your summer and winter squashes, and cucumbers. Those are the big ones. I have flowers too. Where's that list? So the flowers I've started a couple of weeks ago, so back in still April, was borage, chamomile, marigolds, nasturtium, lupin, and then I direct seeded hollyhock and Johnny jump ups, which are like violas. When I'm starting as far as seeds, let's see, did I already? Oh, I forgot this for the direct sow, the flowers. Lobelia scabiosa, more nasturtiums. Yeah. And other flowers for starting indoors now. I'm going to do the Love Lies Bleeding Amaranth, Bachelor Buttons, Hibiscus, Salvia, and Zinnias. Those are my starting now inside.
all right, and then so for me, to see start because that's like literally just what I did. Everything, some stuff out of season, but like specifically for the month of May or for this time of year, beans, cucumber, eggplant, heat tolerant leafy greens. Like I said, you still have a chance to do that, especially if you have like a kind of part sun, part shade area that might buy you some more time. With those melons, okra, hot sweet and bell peppers, pumpkin, summer, winter squash, and tomatoes. And some of these I do have in starter trays right now. Like I said, I'm growing in my green stalk starter trays, and I actually have the trays sitting in the two main raised beds right now. I'm gonna check on them after the live stream because like I said, it did rain last night, and I have um a shade cloth like over the top of it, because that particular one, let me see if I can bring this up. Um, just bring this up one more time. Just let's see. So you can see like the black shade cloth like over the top of the white covers. So those white covers are kind of like an insect covering. Is not a winter cover, so rain and everything can come in to that area. So I just want to check it and make sure that my seeds didn't get drowned out or whatever, because some of them I did have the humidity domes on it, but because a few things popped up and germinated, I took the humidity domes off of some of the seed trays. So I'm just going to check them and make sure that everything is okay. All right, Joy, back to you for anything else that you want to cover in this section.
All right, for transplants, I have, well, I already did this one, but you still have time. Artichokes, dill and parsley, cilantro, celery, and leeks. Leeks, I just transplanted. I didn't need celery, but if I could, I would have. And then I still haven't done my cilantro. I did the parsley. I think my video is coming out after the show. There's a video coming out. Some of that will be either in this part one or in a couple of days for the part two, that I planted out some of these already. And also the stuff I mentioned earlier that you can direct sow if you started those indoors. If you're in the northern climates, then all your greens, your big leaf greens, you can transplant now. They will be okay even if we have a freak frost.
Mm-hmm. And then for me, I'm trying to do the cues because my audio is a little bit delayed. So I'm looking to see if I see her lips stop moving, then it's time for me to start talking. For me, and I'll just group these together. So for a transplant, any of the above things that I said that you could direct sow or start in a seed tray, if you've already started them, then you can transplant, and then I'll just skip ahead to harvest too, because in my area here in Southern California, 10B, 11A, like a lot of people are already harvesting things in May.
Nice.
So, even though to me, it seems like I know I was late, but it seems like just the weather and just, I don't know, y'all, things are changing like overall. But still some people are harvesting. Like I went to a garden event and just this past weekend, and this lady brought like baskets of tomatoes. She has peppers, like already. So
Wow.
just in my area, you can transplant and harvest whatever it is that you had already been growing earlier this season.
For harvest, for us here, if you had your lettuce out earlier, definitely. I've been eating lettuce out of the garden. It's been fantastic. Arugula, mizuna, those little greens. I've also been able to get some of my bok choy and pak choy. They're still what you'd consider baby greens, but they're still good. And then the main harvest of now is asparagus. There is asparagus galore out there. It has been too much because I overplanted to begin with. So a lot of it's been going to the chickens, because even if I bundled them up to give to somebody, by the time I get it to them, it's going to be all like, ugh. So asparagus, and also rhubarb. If you're a fan, rhubarb, now is the time to start harvesting those. And obviously you can freeze those for later use. Asparagus you can pickle and stuff. It's not a favorite of ours. And I'm not a fan of mushy asparagus. So I'm not one to freeze that and save it for future. So it's eat it now and forever hold your peace.
So we're going to go on with today's topic, which is flowers in the home vegetable gardening. And I think, let me see if I can get the poll back now. Just asking you, and you can just kind of like chime in and everything. Like I said, if you have questions or comments for us, put them in all caps. If you're talking amongst each other, like lowercase is fine. But the poll today is, what season flowers do you prefer to grow? And you can participate in that while I just start talking about today's topic. And then let's see. Oh, I guess I can't have a poll and have the pictures at the same time. So, okay, I need to stop the poll. Um, let's see, hide. And then, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting it together. I'm gonna get it together. Let's see. This is only because I'm trying to do okay, that's what I was looking for. So today we're gonna have a light discussion on flowers in the vegetable garden. And while I've always had at least one flower hanging around, like I said, I do have an actual edible mix of flowers in one of my raised beds. I have to admit, y'all, I'm not that flower girl. I'm not. And the only reason that I have the flowers that I have is because they are edible. I like flowers. I do. I am not anti-flower. I just don't or haven't made like a concerted effort to specifically grow them like every year in my garden. But I do have like I've had snapdragons, I've had some sunflowers, I've had flowers in my garden, but I'm just not the flower girl. Um, but there are several benefits to having flowers in a garden, and Joy probably can tell you this firsthand. You heard about all of the seeds that she's sowing, what she's transplanting, the flowers she's had in her garden already, so she can tell you a lot more about the benefits. But through my research, I'm just going to share a few of them with you. So, according to the Michigan State University Extension, flowers add beauty, they deter pests with their strong scents and natural insecticide chemicals. They attract pollinators, which we all know about that, and we definitely need our pollinators. I think I've seen like 3 bees in my yard. Maybe it's because I don't have flowers. They improve the soil health. So some flowers have long tap roots and they can break up compacted soil, which improves drainage and it brings nutrients to the surface. They attract beneficial insects and they can improve the overall health of your garden by supporting symbiotic relationships. And then, of course, my favorite, sunflowers are edible. And so, see, soon as you say that, when you start talking about food in my vegetable garden, that's that. You got me with that. So some edible flowers, and I believe I have a picture of this. So
Ooh,
some
good.
edible flowers, and they might not all be in the picture here, but bachelor buttons, which I never thought about like eating bachelor button flowers, but they're edible. Borage, a lot of people know about that.
Mhm.
Chamomile, dandelion, it's not just a weed. There are some benefits to dandelions. Hibiscus, lavender, mint. We all know about that for mint tea. Pea, red clover, scarlet runner beans, which I believe I've sown for the first time this year, actually in my green stalk. So we're gonna see how that goes because I know scarlet runner beans are serious viners, but we'll see about that. Tulip and yucca. So all of these flowers are edible, and like I said, that's what you got me on that. Joy, so do you have in your garden right now or what you growing, do you have any edible flowers or anything different from what we're showing here?
Nope, I've got all the stuff. Well, most of the stuff. I don't have roses. I haven't ventured into that for that part of the flowers. But yeah, I have the violas pretty much grow wild. I try to grow like the Johnny jump ups, but that's just like a little basket that I'm growing, not really like all over. But there are wild violas in the yard. And then nasturtiums, I have, I've seeded calendula. I seeded years ago and it comes back on its own now. Yay. Marigold, I did. Chamomile also comes back on its own, but I did do a few trays. Chives, I have wild chives around. I tried to do from seed, but those seeds must have been garbage because they didn't come up. And then sunflowers is on my list to do soon. Do I have anything else? Borage is on my list, but I do have borage that comes up on its own already. Mints also come up on their own, but I do have a pot of spearmint and peppermint. I'm trying to expand my mint game because I've heard so many cool mints out there. I'm like, what? And I know it's like, what are they doing to these plants that there's so many weird, combinations? But I'm just like curious. I really want like that chocolate mint and that, I don't know. so many different kinds. Apple mint, just like, wow.
All right, so we're gonna talk about the different seasons of flowers, because I'm gonna tell you what I used to do is just get flower seed packs and just sprinkle them around and just, sow the seeds, put them in good soil, water them, and then wonder why, how come nothing is happening. Like, I sowed these seeds, I have nutritious soil, I even sprinkled like just a little diluted fertilizer. Like, what's going on? Well, y'all, it's because just like our vegetables and our herbs, flowers have seasons also that they do better in, or that they actually require certain temperatures, certain times of year, or they will just sit in the soil. I probably have some flower seeds in soil like right now, and they haven't done anything. So again, doing a little research, there are cool, warm, and actually hot season flowers. So cool season flowers is when the average high temperature is between 35 and 64 degrees Fahrenheit, 1.7 and 17.8 degrees Celsius, and then there's still a chance of frost. In a cooler climate, this season can be in the spring and then again in the fall, or in a warmer climate like where I am, it just runs across kind of like the winter months. Recommended planting is 6 to 8 weeks before the first frost, but some can be planted in the early spring, and then you still can have beautiful flowers by the summer. Some example of cool weather flowers are pansies, violas, or some people say viola, snapdragon, calendula, and tulips. And then I just have a few examples of those pictured in. And then if anybody in the chat, if you're growing any of these flowers, just let us know. Let us know like your experiences with growing these flowers. Do you normally grow cool season or warm season or hot season flowers? Just let us know in the chat. And of course, if you want to come up, the link is in the description, and then I'll just show it here again. So then next we want to talk about the warm season. And let me see, I believe that's these. And the warm season is when the temperatures are between 65 to 84 degrees Fahrenheit, or 18.3 to 28.9 degrees Celsius, and no chance of frost. So these flowers like to grow in a warm season, and they are not frost tolerant. So make sure you time it for your specific area. Some examples of warm weather flowers are marigolds, sunflowers, salvia, sweet alyssum, nasturtiums, coreopsis, and cosmos. Now, I went to Home Depot and I did buy the sweet alyssum and the marigolds, and I planted those in my tomato beds, which were supposed to be flower beds. But I got like a zillion volunteer tomatoes, and I had to put them somewhere. And y'all, look, I'm balancing something I could eat versus something that's pretty and I can look at it. Y'all,
Right.
I'm not there yet. I'm gonna get there. But I'm not there yet. So I did put the tomatoes in those VEGO kitty raised beds, but I put the sweet alyssum and the marigolds, just the 6-pack from the big box store, and just kind of planted them in the same space. Now, if you live in even warmer areas, guess what? There's flowers for you. So there's actually hot season flowers. And I didn't really pay attention to this. I was thinking, cool season, warm season, kind of like the vegetables and the herbs, but I wasn't really thinking like hot season. But yeah, y'all, hot season. So if you live in Nevada and Arizona and New Mexico, or some of the more drier, arid, regions of the country, there's a flower for you. Actually, there's several flowers for you. So the third group of flowers, these thrive in temperatures above 85 degrees Fahrenheit, or 29.4 degrees Celsius. They do need to be planted once the threat of all frost has passed. They don't like getting cold like at all. Like some of the warm season flowers, if it gets a little cool, like they might not like it, but they'll be okay. But high season, they don't like any kind of like coolness at all. So in addition to some of the warm season crops, you can also try zinnias and petunias and angelonias, which I don't know what that is. I saw the picture, but and it might be one of these. It might be one of these, but the picture that you see here, these are examples of some hot season flowers. So you can literally have flowers almost all year round, except like in the coldest months of the winter, depending on where you live, maybe you won't have flowers, but from early spring all the way till the first frost, you can add some color, add some of those benefits that we talked about to your vegetable garden with flowers. Joy, what do you have to say about that?
I love the hot season flowers. They're just so vibrant. And someday I'm going to have them. And also they smell really good. They have such a sweet scent, varying, degrees, but they're more likely to be scented than the ones that are cool season. Like tulips to me don't really smell like anything. Do they smell like something to you guys? Yeah, I really like those tropicals.
Those flowers that you have, the pictures that you have, are those yours actually in your garden? Let's
Yes.
see them. Let's see them.
You have to pull them up. I can't. Can you pull them up? Can you pull them up?
Oh, okay. Okay, let's see. So let's start here. Now what? Okay.
So I think this is some kind of agastache, but I'm not sure exactly because it was already here when the property was here. So the property was here. It was already here when we bought the place. So, but it attracts so many bees and butterflies. It's just so wonderful. It dies back in the winter. It comes back. It's gigantic. It's like 8 to 10 feet tall. I have to corral it or something, keep it from falling over when it rains. I love this thing. Next. So this is my hollyhock. This is like the main area of where I had them, but they've since like moved around the space. So there's a few of them, but that's like, I love this color, this dark palette. Hollyhock's on my list. This is a little bit of zinnias, I believe. I'm pretty sure. But you can see a little butterfly. I got a butterfly in the picture. So it was a good moment. This is my marigolds. I like the pattern here of the different shades, like burgundy, or not burgundy, well, whatever that is, dark red, and then the orange. And it feels so soft. So this was a bouquet I was able to make up in late June? Yeah, because this was my son's graduation from elementary school, and I made him a bouquet. And so I was able to get hydrangea, some lily, yarrow. I don't know what the white flower is. I think that might be like a brassica that had gone to flower from the last season. It looks like I also got calendula. Yeah, there's calendula there in the bottom also. So that's like so cool to make your own bouquet. And it's not like, and I'm sure you could pay a pretty penny for that. So this is just the hydrangea, one of them by itself. I'm still working on like getting the acidity in the soil right. So you have a little bit of purpling there, but mostly it's going to be pink because I don't have the most acidic soil. And this is the limelight hydrangea, which this season, for some reason, when it dries, it holds on to the flower petals, and it's this white ball. And I'll show you in a video coming up, but it's still out there because the greens haven't come in like yet. But it's like such a nice contrast in the bleariness of winter to have these little. It's off-white, but it's there and it's so pretty. I love it. All right, I'm done.
So I had for my favorites, and I had a picture, but I didn't get a chance to upload it. So I just picked 3. And sunflower has got to be number 1. Can you guess why? Can you guess why sunflower? Might be my favorite, Also forget-me-nots. I like them. I don't know, just because I don't know. I like them. They're small, but they're very pretty.
Mhm.
And the plant produces a lot of flowers, like many little small flowers. So I
Right.
really like that. And it's different colors. I do like the blue ones, but you have white ones and pink ones and stuff. You have different color ones. And then a hollyhock.
Mhm.
And that's new. That one is new to me because it was part of the edible mix. And when this big long stalk started growing up, and I was like, is this a sunflower? Is it a sun? Because just in my limited flower experience, it was the only flower that I knew to grow like that tall with such a thick stem. But then a bunch of flowers started coming up, and I was like, hold on, this is not a sunflower. So I had to go back through the packet, and actually none of the flowers are listed on the package. You had to
Right.
do the QR code, go to the website and all that kind of stuff. And then I saw that it was a hollyhock, and hollyhock is a new flower to me. And I was like, wow, y'all. And I had this edible mix in my raised bed, which is already like 2.5 to 3 feet off the ground. And now this thing is growing up the side of the house, the hollyhock, and it's over like the first floor um tiles, whatever the little roof edge thing is growing up over that. And when I went to Louisiana in March, and I came back, and I saw it was bent over. It had got stuck under the ledge. And so I had to like carefully pull it out so it could keep growing up. But unfortunately, yesterday, when we put in that VEGO wall trellis, just the way that it was positioned, I had to cut it down. There's two more. I'm looking at it now. So there's two more hollyhocks growing up, but they are maybe a third tall as that tallest one. And I got like dark pink flowers and then lighter pink flowers. And so I'm interested to see like the different colors that these are gonna come up in. So yep, that's my three. So sunflower, forget me not, and hollyhock.
Oh, my three. I prefer perennials. Basically, I hate having to, or self-seeding annuals like hollyhock,
Hmm.
as you mentioned. My top three in no particular order, and really, if I had a real top three for somewhere else living in the tropics, like I said before,
Yeah.
I'm going to say my top three for the tropics. Here we go: gardenia, jasmine, and brugmansia. Love those because they're scented, they're beautiful, they're delicate. Well, they're not all the same like looks, but okay. Back to reality, where I live here in the cooler part of the country. My top three are lilacs because they have a nice scent. They get pretty bushy. That would be something I would have to keep down. Hydrangea, you can get them pretty short, the shrubs, and the peony. I have 3-year-old peonies that I planted in the wrong place, and I transplanted them over in the fall. So hopefully so I'm basically starting over again. So I'm not going to
Yeah.
see flowers maybe until next year, but I'm really hopeful that I'm going to get some peonies because they're really pretty and they smell nice too. So yeah, that's my list.
Okay, so since of the two of us, you are just definitely the flower expert. So for my area, and you know my garden layout. So if you're looking at an area like this, and then just the rest, like my container plant container stands and stuff, they're just containers on a stand, like the length of this fence that you see behind. So but for an area like this, mostly container gardening, what flowers would you recommend for me?
Healy. I'm not
Just
a
I
flower
mean,
gardener.
in this kind of area. And I'm gonna tell, okay, I'll tell you this. So I, for the most part, I prefer more low,
Mhm.
maybe 12 inches high, more, something that maybe I could stick in borders around the raised bed, because I don't want to have to fight through a jungle of
Right.
flowers to get to my vegetables. So some, kind of low stuff. Maybe if I had a flower in like a small container by itself, I wouldn't mind, some height. I'm hoping that this helps you, Joy. Let me, because this is so I have a lot of flower seeds. I do. I have a lot of flower seeds, but I'm trying to be more intentional with the flowers instead of just picking up the pack and just like throwing some seeds, in the soil. I like chaos gardening, but I want to try to be a little purposeful and
Yeah.
intentional with these flowers, Joy. I need your help. Come on now.
All right. My main suggestion is to go to an actual nursery where you can see the flowers hanging up and everything, and you can see the color palettes and everything, and the styles and the different feel of them. I watch heavily the Flower Hill Farm. She's up in upstate New York, which is she's a zone 4, so
Oh,
she's
wow.
serious about those kinds of flowers. And
Mm-hmm.
but as far as your zone, like what's coming out to me is like marigolds, because they're nice,
Miracles.
especially for your little planters there on the fence. They're
Yes.
spillers, they spill out, and that would be so pretty to have like marigolds spilling over, and other flowers like that. Like violas are cute and all, and forget me nots, but yeah, they're dainty and they're tiny, so those would be great for around your beds.
Mm-hmm.
Alyssum is also, everybody's talking about alyssum for the last couple of
Yeah.
years. They're
Yeah. Yeah.
tiny, dainty. They would go well around the borders of your beds. Um, yeah,
What
I
about
wouldn't prefer
what?
grasses or anything because I don't think you have space for
Yeah.
those.
Do you have flowers like under your trees? So like I have my fruit trees that I have in the ground, but also my fruit trees that I have in containers. Do you have any flowers like around your fruit trees?
Not at the moment because I'm still establishing them, so I've mostly got mulch.
Hmm.
But I'd say borage is a good one to have under. There's a million things you can have, but I like borage
Yeah.
because they're easy. They could get big though. What was it? Shoot, I lost it.
You
Ah,
know
I
what though? Speaking of borage though, I heard that too, and now borage is one of the seeds that I sowed in my GREENSTALK. So what it sounds like, what you're saying is they might be there temporarily, but maybe not forever. So it's in the original pocket. So it's in the deeper, so like the 10-inch pocket.
hmm
And I have them, so I put like three types of seeds two times,
Okay.
on each tier. And so I have borage. Other seed, I'm trying to think of other kind of like flower specific seeds that I've sown, like just, within the past couple days, like really. Borage is one that sticks out. I still have some more of this edible um seed flower mix, but with the hollyhock in it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to put it somewhere else. What does a hollyhock seed look like? What am I looking for
It's
in
pretty
in this?
big. It's a
It's
big
a
seed.
it's a bit okay, like bean, like a bean size seed.
It's more flattish,
Uh-huh.
half the size of a bean seed.
Okay, so it all right, because I also have, I did sow calendula, or some people say calendula,
Yeah,
but I sowed some of those seeds also
yeah, that's
in
nice.
the green stalk. But again, I wasn't paying attention to size or growth habits or whatever. I
Right.
kind of went into, I'm not gonna say a panic because I normally do so like a lot of seeds at one time. But because I'm starting so late in the season, I mean it's May,
Mm.
and I just sowed seeds yesterday on May the 4th, and then last week is when I finally got to sowing the seeds in my seed starter trays. So for my area, I am like way behind. But like I said, this year's weather, and when we had the heat waves in March, I am so glad that I did not sow any seeds before I left. Number one, I do everything outside. And even with the shade cloth, even with the starter trays, the humidity domes, the this, the that, I think this year, if I would have started things early, I would have been restarting now anyway, or sometime last month anyway, because of those heat waves. The weather is crazy. I'm looking at these flowers, Joy, that you have, and these are your flowers. Now,
Not
this is not
AI.
like this is not like a stock photo,
Right.
is it? This okay. All right.
You can see my mess
Oh,
in the background.
you know what? Hey, look, we can switch to so many more of these and then let me see if I can put. Now, why isn't this showing up each now? I'm trying to get back to, yes, the bouquet for your son. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. GT, what's up, man? Hey, are you growing any flowers in your area? I mean, I know y'all probably still have flowers in Alaska. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
let us know. I'm pretty sure, I know you got flowers, edible flowers, for beauty, for what we learned a lot about flowers today and their benefits. If you're growing flowers in your garden or in your yard, let us know what varieties and why you growing them. So, but yeah, this is our topic on flowers today. We wanted to do, just something light, just kind of just glancing across, the topic. April showers bringing May flowers. Of
I
course,
got my
that didn't happen. My
flowers.
the big box store bought the flowers, for me. Beside that, so the edible flower mix is from last year, and I just took the pack and just sprinkled a bunch of the seeds in that corner of the raised bed, and they have just gone crazy. I have not eaten anything from those flowers because I'm just, kind of looking at them and checking out. They look pretty, but I'm like, I don't know. I need to do some more research, because I'm not familiar with a lot of those flowers. Now when you talk about food, though, it's not like I don't have a problem, eating it, but I just want to make sure I know, what exactly what I'm eating. So, but yeah, and see, you have these now. What variety of hollyhock is this?
Oof. It's been a few years, so I'm not sure what this one was.
Okay, yeah. See, but see how dark the colors yours are, and I really like that. Mine are more um like a pale light pink, and then like a true pink. Oh, geez. Oh, driving but listening. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yeah, please, don't like text and drive. I hope you was at a stoplight when you type that. Don't
Right, right.
please. Y'all, speaking of, don't get me started. See, here go, the cat is out of the bag. So for 2026, a whole bunch of new like driving laws and stuff in California, probably other places too.
Oh.
But a lot of people used to, you at a red light, or I don't know, a long stop sign or whatever, you like 3 or 4 cars back, you stop and then you pick up your phone to like check your messages or whatever. Yep, that's against the law. Now you cannot have the phone in your hand at any time as long as the car is pretty much on.
Right.
Whether you driving or not, if the car is on, you cannot have the phone like physically in your hand. Another thing they did was like 20 feet from the curb. You can't park 20 feet from the curb, and now they're painting that stretch of the curb red. But even if it is not painted and you park in that stretch, that 20-foot stretch, you'll still get a ticket because now that's against the law. And just all kind of stuff. And I'm like, y'all, on top of these high gas prices, average gas price in my area as of yesterday morning, average gas price $6.14.
Mm. Ouch.
And the gas stations around my house, you might see regular unleaded for like 5.99 or 5.97. I feel like they're doing like a Aldi Costco thing, one five ninety
Right.
nine, 5.98, 5.97, five
Yeah.
ninety six. But let's go ahead and put the cat back in the bag. Let's see. Markia Dothert. Oh, so where are you, Markia? You say you're gonna try to keep your spring flowers all through the summer in shady areas. Like what state are you in, or what zone? Let us know. These flowers are so pretty. And this butterfly. Like, how long did you have to wait for the butterfly, or was the butterfly already there?
It was
And then
probably
you just
there. I was
it was
lucky.
yeah, because this is so pretty. See, so these are the pictures. You know how when you do your search, your Google search or whatever, and you're like, okay, pictures of flowers or whatever. This is what, because it's real, it's natural, it's not, photoshopped or enhanced, it's not AI. I'm not anti-AI for y'all who else. YouTube algorithm. I'm not anti-AI, but I like just, the natural real stuff. You know how when you upload your videos, you have to say if it has any AI content or
Mhm.
anything that's like not real, you gotta check yes or no or whatever. I
Right.
want to check no for as long as possible. I'm not saying that AI doesn't have benefits, apparently, obviously, because the majority of videos now have some type of AI support,
Hmm.
in them. Whether if it's the thumbnail, if it's, the content, if it's the picture, something. And I ain't mad at you. I'm just, I just want to be old natural for as long as possible. I'm a rebel. I am. I'm a rebel. So I didn't see where Marquia said what zone or what state. But that is a good idea, if you have a shady area, if you're sowing your seeds or planting your flowers in part sun, part shade, that can definitely help to extend, the time that you can have the flowers in the garden. But now we know, cool season flowers, warm season flowers, even hot season flowers. So depending on where you are, or just depending on as you progress through the seasons, we know now that you can have flowers almost year round, like I said, except in those coldest, the coldest time periods, those coldest months. You can have flowers. And I'm going to come back and look at this live stream again and look at my notes and see some of these flowers. That way I can be more intentional, more purposeful on the flower seeds that I sow, because most of mine are going to be, from seeds. I will buy flower packs like the 6 pack, because they'll, six for $2 or six for $3 or something like that. I might buy those every once in a while, but I like growing from seeds. So, oh, Marquia said zone 6B. Okay. Yeah, I think 6B, that's a good area to be able to extend, spring into summer. Now, Joy, what's up, David Corey? How you doing?
Hi, David.
Joy, for you, so when you transition from spring to summer months, like with the temperature and the humidity and stuff, is it a gradual thing where you probably could extend those flowers out, or like it's when it gets summer, like it's just hot and all the flowers just that's it?
It's pretty gradual here. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it peters out slowly.
Yeah. David Corey, you in Texas. What kind of flowers you have in your garden? What you got going on there? I saw you watched your video the other day, what you were, getting the work in, doing some cleaning up, doing some work. I saw you. I was watching, and I'm telling you, the birds, David, he wasn't talking that much in that video, but I'm telling you, the birds just was telling it all. They the birds had a lot to say. They were telling us everything. We do have the link in the chat in our last, couple of little minutes. If you do want to come up and say hi, I'm also putting down the banner at the bottom, our contact information. If you be quiet. I know what time it is. If you want to get in touch with me, if you want to get in touch with Joy, our contact information is below. But Joy, just go ahead and let the people know where you're at and how they can get in touch with you.
All right. I am mostly in YouTube at Joy of the Garden and Home. You can also find me on Rumble. Those videos are usually the duplicates of YouTube videos a couple of days or weeks after the fact. And then I'm also on Insta under Joy of the Garden. I have not been super active on that, but once in a while I'll post something there. Also, Facebook. I have a Facebook group. You'll have to go to my channel and find the link for that. And it's, just random stuff. I'm posting our lives on there, links linked over there. So there's that.
David Corey says he has marigolds and nasturtiums. I went to a community garden. This was last year, but the lady had it was one of the community gardens where I volunteer at, and it was like in, let's just say like March or April. Maybe she had maybe like a 2 or 3 foot area that nasturtiums growing pretty, all that kind of stuff. Yo, by the summertime, the entire, probably, I don't know, 20 or 30 yards of the community garden filled with nasturtiums. She just let them go, just let them run and go. And trust me, they definitely they went. Let me see. GT says he'll drop some wildflower seeds this week. Hope to enjoy my roselle flowers and orca flowers. Oh, that sounds pretty. Zone 4A in Alaska. Yeah, still have a little bit of snow. Mm-hmm. Orca flowers. That sounds
Is it
pretty.
okra or orca? I've never heard of
Maybe.
orca.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me. Or oh, you know what? Maybe he did mean okra, but the thing, because I know he probably like the voice to text, because I know he ain't text like that whole long thing while he was driving.
Right.
Okay, because I was like, oh, I was thinking about like the orca whale, and I was like, is
Right.
this like black and white flower? But yeah, okra flowers are
They're
beautiful,
pretty.
and
Yeah.
I did I sold some okra seeds. I think three varieties of okra. I don't remember what they are like right offhand, but I did so like three varieties of okra, and I'm looking forward to the flowers really more than the plant. I can't believe I just said that. It must be something must be in this coffee.
Oh,
So I want to.
speaking of, sorry,
Oh yeah,
speaking of
tell
the
us, tell us.
volunteer thing, my son and I just recently started volunteering at a garden place, and we were pulling up tulip bulbs because they rotate them every year because they can't get them to perennialize. So they were pulling out these tulips and then they'll put something else in afterwards. And then I was like, they're probably just going to throw these out. I'm going to stick them in my pocket. They won't notice. But they were actually putting them out to the entrance and letting them people take them. I was like, oh, that's so awesome. So I took a whole bunch. They got me a whole bunch.
So how many did you get, or like what kind of colors or sizes or what?
They
What
were
did you get?
mishmash. So
Mishmash. Yeah.
I got like 2 dozen. Yeah. So we'll have to wait till next year to see what comes up. So yeah.
That's right. See, GT said you told on yourself. And look at David say maybe his okra grows like whales. Might be. It's amazing to me though how tall and how big okra plants get, and the huge flowers and everything. But with okra, most varieties, if you don't pick the okra at the right length, then they get fibrous, they get woody, and it's hard to like cook down or whatever. It's just now there are some long variety okra, but most of them, what is it, like a two of a finger length or something, and that's it. Not with the nails, don't add that, but like a finger length, and and that's it. David said you didn't steal it or borrow it. I think Joy tapped out on us for just a second. Let me see. She's probably gonna come back in just a moment. But I wanted to say, so this podcast is normally live streamed every 2 weeks. So we'll alternate it. So this time it's on my channel. The next time it'll be on Joy's channel. If we have any scheduling conflicts or whatever, like we had like the month of March, like she had 2 or 3 on her channel, and now I'm just coming back with it on my channel. But normally it's every 2 weeks. Like I said, we switch channels, mostly about gardening, but you never know. Like I said, we on this is a podcast about flowers in the garden. I'm talking about gas prices. So No, no. I hope she didn't get timed out. I didn't do it. I didn't do it, David Core. Oh wait, here she is. I see her. Here she.
Yay.
Joy, now look, David talking about I timed you out. No, no. That no, I didn't do it like StreamYard timed you out, but we didn't do it.
Yeah.
She's back. She's, y'all don't leave because I know y'all come to the Gardening Plus podcast for Joy. I know. I know you don't hurt my feelings. I'm just glad that you're here. Whether it's for the live stream, whether it's for the replay, I'm just glad that y'all here. And y'all make
Yes.
sure, please like, comment, share, hype it up too. Y'all hype up everything. Go to our individual YouTube channels, check us out. For anybody who's in here, if you want to put up your channel, put up your contact information or whatever, put it all in the chat. I don't have a night bot or the thing that like automatically does that, but please promote yourself, because if not you, then who, right?
Right.
Do all of that. My channel is multi-topic, so sometimes I think the algorithm kind of pushes me to the back, but I started off as a natural hair channel, and then I added other things along the way. But I'm very passionate about gardening. Obviously not so passionate about my hair, but
What?
I'm getting back into it. I actually recorded a video yesterday, and you see that my hair is in these twists, so you can imagine how that went. I'm gonna edit that and hopefully get that up by the weekend. But and Joy, also, what kind of stuff do you have on your channel, Joy? Because I know it's not just gardening either.
Yeah, once in a while I show you what I'm making out of the garden. Like we might take trips somewhere. I'd like to do, some gardens around here. That's always fun.
Mhm.
And then on my Joy Unhinged, one of these days, I just can't like commit. I'll share a little bit more of the inner workings of the brain.
Yeah. I mean, and I think too, unless you say, hey, this channel is gonna be this, because like I said, when I first started, my channel was natural hair, and I was just gonna do natural hair videos. But I think the longer you're on social media, your other interests and the other things that you like to do kind of start, creeping and peeking in and stuff. And now some people might say that I have more gardening content on my channel than natural hair content. But I do unboxings, product reviews, product empties. I haven't done as many of my electric vehicle videos. I still owe a video of the new wrap. I really
Yes.
like it, y'all. I really like it. I think I uploaded some pictures on a community post, or maybe I did a quick YouTube short, but I still owe a video on that, and I'm gonna do it. It's one of a kind though. It's definitely one of a kind. But like I said, multi-content, check out both of our channels. If you pop up and you see a video on gardening, you're like, it's all right, but I don't like that. Check out and see the other stuff that we have, because we have other content. And like I said, so I had well, I say the old wrap on there, and I had a situation where I had to get the car rewrapped, and instead of rewrapping it the same color, I rewrapped it something different. So I'm gonna get that out there. I need to wash the car, because now that it rained and driving through, the mess, the car is dirty now. But look, I'm gonna wash it first, and then then I'm gonna show y'all. But to wrap up today's live stream, we talked about flowers in vegetable gardens. We talked about the benefits of flowers, including my favorite, eating edible flowers. I like that. We talked about cool, warm, and even hot season flower variety. So no matter where you are in the country or really in the world, um, except in the most extreme cases, and that can just be like a few short months in your area, you can have flowers. We shared a few of our favorites. My new favorite, hollyhock, who would have known, and plus is edible. Yeah. And then also we talked about a few tips and tricks. Like, let me see, who was that? Markia, I believe, talked about extending the flower season, from spring into summer by putting the flowers in the shade. GT Jr. in Alaska, like he's gonna be growing flowers. So, we covered, like a lot of that. What Corey talking about? Don't don't tell me you rewrapped it because you pulled off the plants. No, you know what? Honestly, true be told, I rewrapped the car because I was involved in a parking lot accident and somebody hit me and they damaged the wrap. And I was gonna like rewrap just the two affected panels, but the version of the wrap that I had, it was discontinued. So like the new and improved wrap, I could have done that, but it would have been just a little bit different from the wrap around the rest of the car. And I was like, you know what? I can't have no mismatch. So I just rewrapped the whole thing like the new color. And you could check, I think I did at least a community post to show what the new wrap looks like, but I'll do a quick, like a YouTube short or something quick like that, just to show you. It's really nice, like I like it. And we always want to thank you, whether you're here for the live stream or whether you come back from the replay. We definitely appreciate you. Please just like, comment, subscribe, like hype us up, help us to share our small YouTube channels, and just get us out there, because as you know, on social media, there's something for everybody. We know that everything is not for everybody, but we just want our channels to be for you. Oh, I like
Woo.
I like that. I like that. All right, Joy, take us out.
All right. I will talk to you all again soon on my channel, Joy of the Garden and Home. So well, harvest more. Bye.
And until next time, be safe, be well, and be blessed.